So here was the issue. My wife put the key in the car, turned it, heard a snap, and now it freely spins without engaging anything. It ended up breaking in the on position. We had to disconnect the battery so it wouldn't drain it. But in a nutshell, see, nothing's happening. So that's the problem, and we're gonna fix it. I'm videotaping you. So what we're going to do is actually remove the seat so we can get better access under the steering wheel. It's a pretty quick little procedure. So you just move the seat all the way to the back, and then you got to pop off a few things. Okay, after we pop those off, we undid the bolts. Sorry I didn't get it on film. You want to move the seat all the way forward so now you have access to the rear pieces. And you do the same thing. You pop this little cover off and remove the 14mm bolts. Okay, when taking the seats out, I'm in the rear of the vehicle. These plastic component parts here can be kind of a bear to take off. So I recommend is you try and get a screwdriver under here. If you can pop that up a little, then it should just come right off and expose the bolt you got to take off, alright? So good luck with that. Hope you don't break your little plastic parts. Alright, now you can see with the seat out, and it's obviously unplugged from the harness over there. There's so much more room to crawl under there and work, so here we go. Alright, here we are. So your first screw you're going to want to get out is that one right there. That's the only exposed external screw at this point to taking everything off. And then after that, these two latches for the gas in the hood, there are two screws going up under each one. Take those two out, and then these two can get disconnected, and I'll show you what that looks like when you're done. When you're done, things will be outside. That'll free up. Okay, next you're going to want to pop this black piece. It goes all the way across and above here. You got to pop that off. To do that, you should just take this little thing, go boop. See, it breaks it loose, and that frees up the top lip of this piece down here. So let's just pop that off. That's free. Now you can see they're freed up. There you go. The next part, you're going to want to get one of these tools. You can get them down at any auto store. Wedge it right in here. Give it a good yank. Releases that bottom half. So the next part you're going to be wanting is, you see how there's this slot right there? That's going to be where you want to put your tool. Give it a yank. It's got its mating part right there. So that pops this whole section out. So now you should be free floating. The other part you're going to want to get is right here. This lifts up. You can get right behind there. You see this little connection piece there. So that's where you want to give it a little tug. It's going to pop out. And this whole bezel is just right behind that lip right there. Pop that off and you're all done. You got to disconnect all these console controls. This is to the left of the steering wheel. See how they're all plugged in? This place can remove all the plugs from the rear. The front here pushes it forward. So if you disconnect it back here, you can just unplug the wires and then you're good to go. Okay, now that that's disconnected, you're going to want to get rid of this big metal plate along the bottom, because it's just going to get in the way. Alright, now that you have free access, the next step is going to remove this black collar that's right around the ignition cylinder. Yay! Do that, you're going to have to unscrew that. And there is a little white connector thingy back here you have to disconnect that. With the plug removed, the screw taken off, this should just come right off. Look at that! And now, this whole piece here, going back there, should look pretty familiar to most people since you got your replacement part. Okay, to pop the ignition cylinder out, you'll see, try and get this out with the key ring getting in the way. this hole right there, you're going to be pushing in there, but when you're in the off position, the lock position, it won't push in. So you actually have to turn the key past the lock position. I'm sorry, let me get this out of the way. And then you will feel it give there. And now this whole cylinder will pop out. Okay, I just loosened it, and now you can see, ta-da! Whole thing comes out. Look at that. Okay, now this is the part that makes me cry. Alright, I'm just gonna... Oh no, come back here. Look at that. It's missing something. Oops. There we go. It's missing that whole tip right there. See where it broke? It's not focusing right. The rest of that is buried in the hole. We have to fish that out. So we're going to give that a shot. Okay, here's a comparison. That's obviously the broken piece. That's the new one. You can see the new design. They really beefed up this little joint. Because there it's a little tiny, weak little metal plastic. Here it's big and strong. So anyway, we got the new one going in. Alright, next thing you're going to have to do, which is the tough part, see this white thing back here? You're going to have to take that off. Now as you can see, there's a screw there. Oh, you can't see the screw, but you can see how screws coming in from the back. A Phillips head screw there, and one right back up there. So you're going to have to get in behind that with a Phillips head screwdriver pointing this way towards the camera. Unscrew those two screws, and that will release the broken piece of the camshaft. In order to get there, we're going to remove this duct assembly just to make it easier because I'm not a real skinny guy. So it's connected with two screws. One over here that I already took out. The other one's in behind this, which is, let's see if I can see it for you. I'll get you to see it. It's, can you see that right there? So you have to reach in behind there to get it. Okay, now that the two bolts are out, you can see how it slides back and forth. So we're going to take this and here, and see how it drops down on this end, and then pull it towards you and pull it out, and there you go. You've got that out. Okay, I got most of the plugs and stuff out of the way. Now I'm just going to try and show you what we're trying to get to. Got a little mirror here. I don't know if that's going to help or make it more confusing. See that bolt right there, or that screw right there on the mirror? And then, it's hard to see the other one. Alright, I'm under the steering column right now, laying on my back. And you can see the tip of my screwdriver. It's trying to get right, oh, I just passed it, right there onto that screw. And to see how I'm doing it, you see the screwdriver all the way over there. Keep going down, there's your gas pedal. So you can put your hand back here with the screwdriver, and you can actually reach your way in behind that little plastic white piece to get to one screw right there, bang, bang. And the other screw is actually a little harder to see. So you can kind of see my screwdriver. You can't really see it on this camera, but there you see a little tip flashing. It actually does squeeze in there, and you can get in behind there. Use your second hand to help push it in. Now remember, don't unscrew this white plastic component all the way. Only unscrew it so you can have about 1/8 of an inch loose. You just want to free the back of that camshaft. Alright? Okay, see when you're done, see right there between the white and the metal piece, there's just a small bit of play, of movement. That's what you want, about that much. If you take those screws all the way out, they're going to be a real pain in the neck to put back in, especially the one up there. So just loosen them up a little to be able to back it off a little, then you're good to go. Alright, that's inside. We've got the little broken piece out. To do that, you want to get a flathead tip, a long thin one. And you see when you get it in there, if you push it, it moves that out of the way. See that move? Boop. So you have one hand holding the flathead tip, pushing that out of the way, and you get a second piece, which is a 90-degree pick, and you just slide it in over the piece, get behind it, turn down 90 degrees, and then you'll be able to slide it right out. And that's how we got the piece out. Alright, see if you can see all the way down at the end of that hole, there's a little notch on the left of the hole where the camshaft goes through. If you basically are going to try and align the, see that notch right there? Try and turn it a little. There, see that little notch? That one is going to line into that hole. So you're going to insert it. Let's see if I can get a light back in here. There we go. You're going to insert it into there, and you're going to put it in, slide the notch in, then you're going to rotate it clockwise 90 degrees, and that should set it appropriately. Sorry it's so hard to see, just trying to get a flashlight down that hole is not easy. Alright, so here it is installed. You see how the that brass piece right there is showing at about 4 or 5 o'clock? That's how you have to have it aligned in there. If you have it 180 from that, you're going to have your steering lock locked when you're trying to drive, so it won't work. So make sure it's like that. If you're having problems turning it that way once you've engaged it, that white plastic piece on the back that had the 2 screws, loosen that a little bit more so you can slide that back a bit, because that's what's going to hold you up. So once you slide that back a little further, you should be able to spin the camshaft to this orientation, and then you'll be in the correct way. Put it all back together, start it up, and it should work just fine. Alright, hope this video works out good for you, and good luck.